live from a not-so-secret suite-level studio.
I'm the capo. He's the prez.
And this is Sons of Ben, the pod. Welcome back to Sons of Ben, the pod. This week's episode, and forgive the smell in here, but we did have to burn a lot of sage to get the smell of the last week's guest out of here. But we definitely got Mitchelled last week. So this week, it's you guessed it, Adam. It's episode Jeremy Roenick.
I was worried that you would pull some like offensive lineman from like the Steagles era or something like that. You were just gonna be like, and here comes like, Woody Harrelson Jr. the third coming out. Like, no, cool.
Back in those days, I don't think they had enough money to get number 97.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is a high number to print.
It really is. We're getting dangerously into that level of like, we've just been going by, jersey numbers. And now we're going to have to do what I call jersey math, where we're going to have to add two people if we're going to keep this up. Or just go Roman numerals.
I was really hoping we were going to do like motocross for a while. Just get like, like the 199s and all of those. We could keep it moving for a half a second.
No. All right. But we do have we finally have a good guest after last week's mess that we had with getting bullied on to getting that guy on here. We do have a guest. So today's guest, he's a producer, radio and TV host, basketball savant, a hero to Union fans. He's fighting the good fight, and in my humble opinion, is the shining beacon on your radio dial. Our guest is Mr. Tyrone Johnson.
Listen, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming in, man. Thanks for making the drive.
I'm excited. Nah, the drive's no big deal. I'm happy to be here. I would have been here sooner, except for the schedule.
Schedule's rough.
Yeah.
It's out here in these streets. I understand it, though.
Yeah, well, that certain team that you follow is, well, they're keeping you busy.
Yeah.
But busy's good,
The team that shall not be named.
No, we're going to talk about that team. I'm okay talking about that team.
I established on the internet earlier that this would be a numbered-based basketball franchise-free pod.
Well, you lost out.
For mental health purposes, I'm trying to help the people all heal for a day. Because, the Phillies won, right? No, okay.
Phillies won? Yeah.
Phillies. So we got rid of Ronald Torreyes.
The Flyers won a game, and then I think
that's the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Why are they doing anything but not losing by 9 goals?
Because they hate
us.
They hate the basketball team
hate
so
us.
much that they don't want to do what they did.
I'm so mad that they decided to beat the Penguins the other day. I'm like, no. What does that do for us? Nothing. It does nothing.
Well, they followed up with a loss.
Yeah.
So they won 2 in a row, but they weren't going to win 3 in a row.
No, I know. That was good.
On.
Ooh, that would have been the longest winning streak in the calendar year.
A little housekeeping. So Beer the Pod. Oh, we got a new one. We got Kenwood with us. We got Yards, 2SP, Flying Fish, Heineken, and Spellbound. It's just a plethora of beverages to get us through this pod.
We can't drink each one of these sponsors in one pod. You realize,
you sure?
I mean, we could.
You don't listen to this.
I'm gonna have to take the SEPTA home. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna have to walk to the Highland.
All right. Remember, everyone, renew. We still have some limited kits left, so renew. We got till about the end of this week and might be out of kits, so get on it. And then, speaking of get on it, www.philadelphia2026.com. The World Cup maybe is coming in June. I've been saying this, Tyrone, for I don't know how long. I was asked to be part of the ginormous group of people that are part of the bid committee.
Yeah.
So we've been pushing this thing, and FIFA keeps pushing it back, which makes me nervous that they're going to do FIFA stuff and put this in Cincinnati or some crap instead of Philly.
It's got to be in Philly, doesn't it? You got to put it in a real city.
Yeah.
You got to put it in a real city.
You look, the FIFA is a criminal organization.
Yes.
Let's be real about this.
Where's this World Cup at?
Qatar.
Yeah. Where was the one before?
Russia.
Yeah.
There's
no common sense to where the World Cup goes.
We're not really looking for the best case scenario for the fans or the fan experience or anything like that. But I do find it fascinating that they do have a set of rules. And for the most part, Philadelphia hits about 80% of those notes.
Oh, we clicked every box on that thing. Everything from hotels to practice fields to stadiums to human rights issues. They actually had to ask about human rights issues.
Well, when you go to
they didn't ask the other two countries. But
don't ask about our government. But ask about everything else we got going in Philly. It might be good for you. But legit, ultimately, it makes all of the sense in the world that Philadelphia gets a bid, because I'm just look, hotel, just the size of the stadium, proximity to the airports, hotels, all of it makes sense.
We also put on big events.
But again, they had a World Cup in Brazil with stadiums that they knew were going to be defunct.
Yep.
And we were played in a city called Manaus that is literally just a place where people get hot. There was no other point to that city other than to be drenched in humidity.
No, you also had the highest spike of malaria because of the mosquitoes.
That's
why I didn't go. I'm like, nope.
Look, I'm all for the World Cup, but there's also like 15 nations that really just need to be doing this in rotation now. You know.
Yes. No, that I was wondering about that. Why don't they just do that? So therefore, it's an advantage once every 15 years or once 15 times 4. So it's not very often.
They don't make the money that way. They're like people bid. If you tell me it's the same thing with the Super League. It's all that. If you tell me Germany gets automatically a World Cup, then they're never going to bid hard enough.
They're not
going to
drop a bag of cash.
They're
in your
not
hotel
going to give them the backdoor cover that they need.
Well, where's the faking it though? You're like, listen, you get somebody from somewhere crazy. What did you say, Cuba? You offered butts?
Oh my God! Can you imagine the Cuban World Cup?
Cuba offered something, America. Cuba offered something.
Look, man, Trinidad and Tobago said they would do it. I don't know.
Weekend at Fidel's, they prop him up and be like, look who has the bag of cash.
Honestly, I'm here for the entire Caribbean World Cup, though. Like every nation in the Caribbean gets one game.
Yeah, it's like the Virgin Islands. Which one? We're going to the British Virgin Islands, not the U.S. Virgin Islands. We're going to play a couple games there.
Look, that's going to be an another pod when I think about the most random possible World Cup nation.
I would be down for that for the British Virgin Islands World Cup.
I think most
you
people
sail
would.
from island to island. I'd be all right with that.
Then we get into an airport issue because none of those airports could handle the traffic for which they require.
No, it'd have to be cruise ship.
Exactly. Carnival and Norwegian are just like hell yeah.
And you park the cruise ship around the stadium and you watch from the cruise ship from the Lido deck.
Look at the screen. It's great. It's right here by the pool. It's awesome.
Now speaking of travel, good transition.
Good transition.
Man, this weekend, Nashville, May 1st. Now, a lot of us are going.
Yes.
I'm not.
I'm not.
You're not.
I'm not.
And we're not going for the same reason. Well, you're dumb. You're running it. My girlfriend's running it. Broad Street. Are you running Broad Street this year?
I was gonna to get in the schedule. No, in all seriousness, I've run it 10 times.
So you're grandfathered in now.
I'm grandfathered in now.
Yes.
But the problem is, honestly, I run in the morning. And when you work late nights, it makes it tough when you have a job to run in the mornings. I'm furious.
Yeah.
I'm furious. I'm not going to talk about the Sixers, but I'm furious because of that.
Look,
all this
you
work?
could have wrapped this shit up, B. I could have had a day off.
Yeah,
like,
well,
what
James,
are we doing?
shoot the ball, James.
Oh, I don't. No.
Yeah.
No.
You don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Cut it out.
Be a good producer. Be a good producer.
But
Thank you,
just to
Devin.
make you feel better,
Thank you.
we're teaming up with our friends at Twisted Tea
We are.
at Broad and Packer.
Yes.
So we will be when
I
you're.
gotta wait to get that far down the line.
I'm gonna because TC's running. I'm gonna do a couple stops, so I'll look for you with some beverages.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry. But then Broad and Packer will be group. We're trying to get some more Sons of Ben's, no smoke bombs, maybe just drums,
Yeah, please don't.
and then chicken and pizza afterwards because they're the official after party of the Broad Street run.
Of course they are.
Yeah, of course.
Where else
they're-
would it be?
They're the official everything.
Let's talk
of-
about that. We also need more restaurants. I think that's what FIFA's going to be mad about us, our lack of restaurants.
in
here.
Philadelphia?
Yeah, in the stadium. Just near the
Stadium.
stadium.
There's plenty in Philly. There's much more than the
stadium's a little
threshold.
bare. Around the stadium's a little bare. I'm not going to lie.
Well, that's all, you get in and you get out.
No, you don't.
You don't.
You don't get out.
No,
you don't get out.
bleeping
Yeah.
Don't. What do you mean?
You get in,
You don't
and now
even
you
get
can't
in,
leave.
really.
Yeah, now you can't leave.
Yeah.
I was bringing this up before since you brought up the stadium thing, and we're
Please.
currently in a place where it wasn't directly right there in South Philly.
Please.
The next stadium, whatever it is,
Yeah.
it might be 10 years from now,
Yeah.
or it could be the Sixers who don't like being a tenant and likely want a stadium.
Who
Nothing
would?
about the team, right? Can we just put it somewhere else?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
in South
care.
Philly?
I don't care where.
Yeah.
Just somewhere. Oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? How about you also build up the infrastructure so if you're worried about driving, you actually have more than one train line go there or have something different and actually make the city, make it more attractive because you go to some other cities and we love this area. Obviously, we live in this area. So, of course, we love that area.
We have to.
But Detroit, San Diego, different places, you're right there in
Atlanta.
the city. Right. You walk. You
Yankee
walk
Stadium.
right. You take a light rail and you walk 3 blocks, and there it is.
Well,
and we just insist on doing the same thing all the time.
Where I would hope that if the Sixers did make the move, like I know they're talking, I don't want them in Camden. And I keep my boat in Camden. I love Camden, but right across from the Fashion District, that empty lot that used to be Disney Quest.
Disney Quest.
Remember that? But that's still an empty lot. There's room. That could be the
Yes.
Madison Square Garden version for Philadelphia.
I wouldn't hate
And
it.
there are trains to get in there,
I
and you're in
wouldn't hate
Center
it.
City, and you could. I would love to see that. I didn't like that idea about Penn's Landing because you can't get to Penn's Landing easily.
No, but if they're going to do the 95 cover,
Right.
yeah,
that
but
would
no
make
trains,
that-
no
No,
public
well, you would
transportation.
you could figure out a
Yeah.
rail there. You
Yeah.
can have ferries
bring
coming in
back
from
the
Jersey.
trolley. Bring back
Listen,
the trolley.
Well, from where we're sitting right now, all I want them to do is get a marina so we can do boatillas
Sir,
down
I
here.
By
just
the way-
need them to get like
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Like we need to go more than just one brewery before we get yourself. Look, I understand you guys.
It's coming.
I'm sure Sugarman has his own boat that he wants to bring up the Delaware like he is Captain Nemo. But
No, but one of our good friend of the pod showed me pictures of his new boat.
oh, I'm sure. Look, here's the thing that you don't think about: the fact that they're not going all the way around
No,
Cape May
they're-
to come all the way back up. To
it's not
Chester.
coming from
Like,
Montauk
they're not.
to Chester. No,
None of
it's
these
not.
guys are coming from just middle of Long Island.
Richard
They're like,
Adam is challenging you to bring the boat from
I
Montauk to
don't
Chester.
want him to do that. That just seems excessive. Like,
I kind of want him to do it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I kind of. Me too. I'm
can you
selfish.
just imagine him be like, "Oh, sons of men."
How long you been in that boat? 8 days.
Right. He physically sailed, no motor. He did this old school.
All right, last two trips. May 7th, L.A., Portland, May 22nd. And then, Devin, are you ready for this? The next home tailgate, May 14th. And it's, all right, we've been hitting 300-400 people for these tailgates. It's been getting a little crazy. You haven't been to one since last year. And they were getting big now. Now they're getting even bigger.
That's
getting,
out of hand.
They're getting out of hand, which is a great problem to have.
Yes,
But
yes.
this is against Red Bull.
Yes.
Even when we were bad and Red Bull was bad, we still had a lot of people tailgating.
No, this is gonna be.
This is going to kill you. You are going to be a pile. Devin runs the tailgates now,
Oh boy.
and Devin is going to be a mess during
Yes.
this tailgate.
For
It
anybody
is-
that went to the July game versus DC last season, you know that was probably
I
one
was
of the
at that
largest
game.
tailgates
Yeah, I
of the
was at that
season.
game.
It was a
Yeah,
huge
I
game.
remember
This
that.
is going to be just like that one.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going to be a huge one.
and,
I'm
and
so
I'll
excited.
break some
I'm
news
so
for you.
excited.
Rastelli's is in.
Yeah,
We're going to have gourmet burgers.
Wow.
So
Look at
it's not
that.
just
Sponsors.
cheesesteaks,
The
not just
sponsors
hot dogs
are
from Dietz.
coming
It's
through.
it's getting
And
crazy.
you brought up the future travel. You mentioned L.A., Portland. So I'm in Portland
Yeah.
years ago. I'm
Yes.
just walking on the street, and what's this? Oh, the stadium's right here.
right downtown.
Right.
right
Beautiful.
downtown. And it's sunk in. So
Beautiful.
you're literally just walking on the street, and my wife and I are going, look at that. We've been married not that long. It was like, wait, this is the stadium right here.
Yeah,
Providence Park.
What
Just right there.
what a nice idea.
And-
Maybe some other cities closer to home should try to do that. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be.
Well, here's the
it would be
thing.
That
novel.
stadium's cool, and this location's really cool
Oh, yeah.
too. out
And
there.
that was
Oh,
the
yeah.
old baseball
Yeah.
stadium that Kurt Russell's dad founded.
really.
Did you ever see? There's a documentary about the Portland. It was like a AA, AAA
I heard
independent.
about
They
it.
wanted
It was
to
on
make it
Netflix,
for
but I didn't watch it.
And they
Yeah.
wanted to make it a major league ballpark. They wanted to attract a major league team. In
Yeah.
fact, one of my favorite skits from Portlandia makes fun of them trying to bring a
Yes,
major
I-
league
yes, I
ballpark
saw
back to
that.
Portland. They're like, all right, it's
Yeah.
time for the MLB in Portland. It's just like, all right. But like, I love what that does, and I tell Matt all the time that my formula with the MLS is this: if you have less than 3 professional teams, Major League Soccer can work in your city
Definitely.
very well.
Yes.
You can definitely find a need, and in most cities where that's the case, San Jose, you have it with Portland, Seattle for them, because I mean now they have the Kraken, but once upon a time they didn't. So like you
Yeah.
had a void for most of these cities where these soccer teams are just like, hello, here
Right.
we are. But this is
and Atlanta. Don't forget
And
Atlanta because they don't have professional
they don't
sports in
care about
Atlanta.
professional- like,
They
even
only
when they're
have
good,
Atlanta United.
Yeah.
Man, those are the Cobb County Braves. I don't know what to tell you otherwise.
I don't know what the
Anyway,
football team is. I
Yeah.
don't know what that basketball team is.
They-
Nobody goes to that.
They chased 2 hockey teams out of
Yeah.
town.
2.
Like 2
Georgia
separate
Tech.
hockey teams.
Georgia Tech. They'll pack the stadium.
Well, I mean,
Georgia
no
Tech.
one loves people like the rambling wreck of Georgia Tech. You know, everyone's still using the option. But anyway, I love the idea that if the Union came maybe about 5-6 years later, that we would have been part of that 3.0 rush of MLS, which is now you have to be downtown. Like the only team that really didn't follow that equation was Austin. Outside of
Yeah.
that, the goal of every one of these teams. I know Miami's still trying to figure their stuff out.
Miami's a mess.
And it's been
But
a while now.
it
It's
is
like they've been waiting a while. Like when
It
you guys
still
gonna
hasn't
get
been
this?
as long as New York.
Nashville's outside of, but they're only a 10-minute drive from the downtown
Well,
area. But Nashville's also sprawling.
Yeah,
There's
most
one
of those
street
cities-
that's major in Nashville, and the rest
Exactly.
is
Like a lot of those,
different
those
situations.
southern cities, that is a downtown, even
Right,
though it's
right,
not.
right.
You know.
Right.
But for the most part, Cincinnati, we're going to put this right in the heart of it.
Yeah.
Columbus, the new one's going to be in the heart of it.
The new one's great.
Yeah, the new one's great. Like Nashville, we're gonna. But all these teams we're gonna make bigger stadiums. We're gonna make them more soccer exclusive, and we're gonna put them right in these sections. And it's like everyone knows why Chester was the thought.
Oh yeah, was that
But
Rendell?
it's just like, okay, now it's time for us to build this infrastructure. Otherwise, we're going to have MLS 3.0 boat race us just on aesthetics alone, just on the production, the production value of the football we're watching.
Well, the other thing is MLS is one of the few leagues that they get most of their revenue from asses in the seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Versus the TV
there
revenue.
isn't the TV revenue that the other where the NBA they don't have to sell a ticket. They really
the
don't have to
craziest
sell a
thing.
ticket.
People think like, oh man, my tickets pay for your salary. Like, no, sweetie.
No, it doesn't.
No, they really
they
don't.
don't. No, they
that deal they have with Dietz and Watson, that's what's paying. There's like all those deals
Yeah.
with Comcast, that's what's paying their salary.
Yeah, the smartest NBA owners are the former ABA St. Louis owners.
Yeah,
Smartest people ever.
They're just like, give us
Because when they go, you know what, we won't merge. Devin, I don't know if you know this.
It's an incredible story.
It's
incredible.
When the ABA was merging with the NBA and the ABA was the other basketball league, just letting you know that, Devin, because you're only 25.
Flint Tropics, think of that.
So the St. Louis team said, you know what, we'll back out. We won't be one of the teams that merge. All you have to do is put our ownership group in with the revenue sharing from the TV deal in perpetuity.
Yeah.
So these three clowns that had a horrible team in St. Louis are just loaded,
Living
and they
it.
don't have to deal with
Anything.
players and contracts and collective bargaining. They just go, "Oh, you got that check? Thank you very much."
I'm here for that. And then like that's the beauty of what MLS ultimately has that a lot of these other leagues have. It's like all of these teams are so going to, start to make enough revenue where all these teams like Brentford or, Norwich or any of these teams that flux between the top and the bottom flights, there's a reason why they call the last spot for the championship the most expensive promotion.
Yeah,
Because it's like it changes the
it's like
trajectory
40
of the
million
club.
pounds a year difference.
That's what it changes. Like MLS doesn't have that. Even when Chicago Fire is the worst version of Chicago Fire, they're like, we made a couple bucks.
Yeah,
And we're still here. Like we still get the TV, we still get the because we're always going to be here, no matter how terrible we are. Sacramento Kings, we're always going to get like $5 out of this with revenue sharing, and that's why people would love pro rel in every single sport,
except owners.
except the owners.
Yeah.
The owners will never do that.
Yeah.
Why would they ever do that?
Yeah. Now speaking of high revenue, let's get to know our guest. All right. Now you've been a producer and a host on 97.5, but how many years have you been in this talk sports radio in just this business?
In radio, it's coming up on 22 years.
Wow.
You are 5 years away from Andy Dufresne. He served 27 years. You are getting close to Andy Dufresne.
I was 4 years old when you started, so there you go.
Yeah. So 22 years at the only sports talk station in the city at the time. And I remember so the assistant program director at the time, I'm listening to the station, and he's out setting up a remote broadcast, and I knew that wasn't right. And I'm in school at the time, and I'm thinking, well, I need a job. I couldn't afford an internship. I need a job. I was like, if this guy's setting up broadcast, they're hiring even if the job's not posted. So this was a time where you had to fax your resume.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
what I
did you
did
have
was
the good fax, or did you have that rolling paper fax?
I had neither. So what I had was I had dial-up internet at my house, and I downloaded a program that folded up the fax. So what you had to do was just save it in Word, and then it would send a fax as if, but it literally dialed. Like it's still dialed.
You heard the
I faxed it 12 times. And what I did was, when they called me to tell me to stop faxing, I said, on my end, the confirmation page, because a lot of people don't know, the confirmation page came back that it didn't go through. So I just kept on sending it. Yeah. But while you're on the phone,
Like while you're here,
I heard that a boss was out there, and I'm saying I could do that. Now, note, At the time, I could not do that. I just said I could do that. And I figured I would quick learner or whatever, but I could not do that.
You're like the Wolf of Broad Street, not of Wall Street. You're like Jordan Belfort.
So they bring me in for an interview. And back then, Tom Bigby, rest in peace, he brought in me and Mike Garofalo, who works for NFL Network now. He's also from Philly. He was at LaSalle at the time. We were both in school. And back then, you got trained twice, and then you just got thrown in. And if you failed, that was it. That was the end of your run. I didn't fail. He didn't fail. We stuck. A lot of other people didn't. And then that particular boss ended up getting in trouble. I didn't realize this at the time. Why is he had the accent? Why is he setting up the remotes? And I'm sitting there like hearing that when I'm going for my interview. Why is he setting up the remotes? He's supposed to hire people for that. They pushed him out of there. The new person interviews me and hires me. And then that was the start of the whole thing.
So you succeeded. How the hell did Matt Howley succeed? No, I'm just kidding. No. Just a mutual friend. That's all.
Oh my! Here's the thing. I want to go back for your musty Andy Dufresne reference. Now, Shawshank Redemption, Devin, was a movie.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
just in case you
Have
missed
you ever
that
seen
one.
Shawshank?
No.
Why? It's on all
There's
the
a
time.
lot of movies I've never seen. There's a lot of shows I've never seen. A lot of iconic ones. When
Yeah.
I was younger, instead of watching shows and movies, I was playing video games.
See?
Have you ever seen a sunset?
Have you ever
Have
seen
you ever
a
just seen a sunset? Like, I mean, just appreciate good,
Look
great
outside
things
and
in
be
the
your
world.
first
Go
one.
watch. Yeah.
Be your first one. Look
Yeah.
outside.
My
First
God,
one.
Devin.
My dad always likes to make the joke. We were on Martha's Vineyard one year, and we were going on Cape Pogue, and it's like one of the more beautiful places you've ever seen. And I'm playing Pokemon in the backseat the whole time. And he's like, "Why aren't you enjoying the scenery?" He's like, "Blastoise. I'm evolving my war turtle into a Blastoise right now. I'll get back to you at a later time. Thank you for
I would have dropped you off on the side of the road.
Most of the time, I'm concerned
Your
why my
father
parents
is
did.
a
Like,
good
I think
man.
Both of my parents are saints because I would have thrown me off of it. Yeah, I would have been like, "Please, you're done here."
Man. All right. Now, how did the union and soccer get on your radar? Because, if you're in Philly sports talk, you play the hits. There's 4, and that's it. There's no room for more than that.
There's like 3.
And
there's
lately,
really
There's
3.
like really
Once
3.
in a while.
It's been
They're like
3 a lot
also
more
the
often.
Flyers sometimes are here. You know?
Yeah, it's for me. I like that. I went to it initially because I wouldn't have to talk about it at work. See, the tough part. This is the thing. Like Sixers, as we record this, just had a tough loss. We're not talking about the loss,
We're
but
not talking about loss.
regular fans the next day have, as you guys know, you can listen to a podcast, listen to music, do something else.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So I have to wallow in that loss. I would like to escape the loss. I can't do that. With soccer, I can. So once I go to a team, I was thinking at first, I was like, all right, let's watch the Premier League. Because I knew it was accessible. That's how it starts. Let's watch the Premier League. And I'm start watching it. And then there was, at the time when it was Manchester City, but I didn't know anything about Manchester City. I wasn't going to pick United, and I wasn't picking Liverpool because I had met some people that were on my nerves, and they were fans of those two teams. So I'm like,
They tend to be.
somebody else. So
They
at the
tend to be.
time, that's when I guess the Sheik was first buying Man
So
City.
you got in ground floor of
them being good.
Yeah.
They had been around, but they weren't good. Then Amazon does that show, that All-In show.
Oh, yeah.
It covers that season.
Yeah.
And now that's when it accelerated. And then I'm like, well, there's soccer here. Let me start watching more of the soccer here. And we'll talk about the conversation with the radio on that. We'll get to the.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it was nice that if I root for this team and they lose, I can turn it off.
Yes.
I don't have to talk about it.
Yes.
And none of my neighbors or the people that run into me or my family members are going to ask me about it. I can just watch it, enjoy it, root, and then it win. I can sell me, or I can be upset, and then no one knows why I'm.
And Bill from Isle of Kinwood isn't calling you with a hot take.
Right, and that
Or
absolutely.
Teresa from Tacony,
Right, and for me, being in this profession, it was absolutely appealing for me. And then the team gets good. And then you guys are
And now
awesome.
we start calling you.
Yeah. And you guys are, you guys, I got to be honest. So the first time I go to Suns Bet, I don't know what to expect because I only had heard about it.
Yeah.
I don't know everybody. You guys have always been very generous. Like,
Yeah.
you have
Come
me
on
here.
out.
No, I really,
have a good time.
right.
Yeah.
So the energy's great. Everybody's having a good time. And it felt different because everyone's there to have a good time. Now, maybe that changes eventually. Maybe if they get, because they're having a great year, obviously, right now.
Yeah.
And if I'm not wishing on them, they come up short of expectations, maybe they'll feel like the other teams. But right now they feel different. And the vibe there felt different. And going to the game felt different. And I have to say, the playoff game that they lost, we knew how many guys were missing because of the COVID situation.
Yes, we did. Yes.
Getting to the half, 0-0.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then it was only lasted 30 seconds.
It was the greatest 4 minutes in Union history.
Oh my God.
Like it was delirium.
It was as electric as anything I've ever been around at the games. I've been to all of them, and anything I had ever been a part of. And everyone got it. The kids, everybody was like, "Oh my God, this is incredible. This should not be happening." And first of all, getting 0-0 was enough to go up 1-0 for those few minutes. Kids are standing on the chairs.
Yeah.
I'm taking.
Kids were playing on the field.
Yeah.
we had kids playing against this team.
Incredible. I to the point where I put the video on social media, and I have people from high school who I haven't heard from. Oh my God, I have to get to a game.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. It was so electric, as electric or more electric than anything had been. The Allen Iverson cup in his ear. You talking about? It was right up there with that. I'm like, are you kidding me? And and for me though, the nice thing was. And we did talk about that on the radio, and I wanted to talk about that. I was like, and then the tie comes, and we kind of knew, and that also showed me how intelligent all the fans were. We all knew, because of the circumstances, this ain't good. Like
we
weren't
putting ourselves into a false sense of security. Be like, it's cool, it's 1-1. You know, we were all like, no, where is it? Where's the last shoot? I was like, if we can get to penalties,
yes,
we might have a shot. Like Matt Freese might pull something out of his butt.
Yeah,
we might have a shot. But when they got that second goal, I'm like, yeah, we good.
And after that game, I wasn't dejected. I remember walking out, and I remember talking to some of our members that are probably the more negative guys, negative people, and everyone goes, "I can't get mad about this season."
No,
how could you?
You know how and it was COVID, like that shit happened all over.
Yep.
I only got mad when I watched New York play Portland because
we would have boat raced them.
I'm sitting here thinking in the back of my mind, Portland's better than us. Portland's better than us. For some reason in my head. And then I watched that minuscule shit team from New York crush them. I go, we would have squashed them. That would have been the Lakers versus the Allen Iverson Sixers. It would have been Shaq beating up one.
Mutombo. Yep.
Yeah. I
would have forced my way.
That's the only
onto
time I
break.
got mad. That was
funny
that
you
was
say
it.
that.
Then I got over it.
I watched that game in New York. Not to control. I watched that game in New York with my wife, and we were doing the touristy stuff. We're going to see the tree and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So we scheduled when we were going to see the Rockettes for the first time. By the way, the Rockettes shut down because of COVID right after that.
Oh.
It was, my wife's all messed up in the game. Like,
You're
crazy.
just like, Jesus.
We scheduled the Rockettes around that final. Like, we're going to watch the final. So what time's the final? And then we're going to go to a bar and watch it. And then we're going to walk to the Rockettes after that. And I thought the same thing watching the game. And I ended up watching it with people from Ireland.
Yeah.
Like Irish. They were sitting there going, they said that they make a yearly trip and they watch when they come to America. They thought the level of play was better, has gotten better than it had in the past. And then my response was, well, if the Union had been full strength, they would have won this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I said to them. And that's what I said at the time
and to touch,
when it happened. Yeah.
I have friends from Europe, and I've got a buddy from England who got me into watching the Premier League and everything. And he was messaging me constantly. He goes, "Holy shit, you're center back." But he's like, because 10 years ago, no, this league wasn't that good.
Right
now, this is a top 10 league, and it's not the best league in the world like we're used to as Americans, but it's up there, and it's getting better and better and better.
And it's also starting to produce some of the world's best talent.
Yeah.
And that's really the crux of it. Like, the way that Americans are now being produced in other countries. Like, it was once upon a time, we had like 3 Americans in all of Europe. Like, it was just,
and they were all goalies.
Yeah, it was just Howard, it was Guzan, and it was like Clint Dempsey, and that was all of America's representation on the entire continent. And now every major league and almost every, like, Chelsea, Barcelona, Juventus, all of the top teams now have American representation in their 18, in their 11s, and that's and all of these kids, we'll say this, Pulisic did not go officially through MLS, but he was a product of the youth academy through the Philadelphia Union.
He played through the Union.
He came through it. him and Zach Steffen, all of these guys came through the system in America and are now contributing to the best teams in the world. And that wasn't America 10 years ago, let alone 15, 20, 25. Yeah. So it's the quality of MLS is going to get better on that principle alone, because people are going to pay more attention to, well, why are all these Americans showing up? What's this Brendan Aronson character doing? You know, what's this Mark McKenzie dude doing? And it's all in all of these places where is Brussels watching MLS before this time? Really? Is Austria really watching the MLS before this time? Now they have vetted interests because they're just like, hey, he's got a brother.
Well, it's just funny. It's this running joke that, you know, soccer's the sport of the future in America. And now you're like, holy crap, the future might be here. I don't know if it's 5 years. I don't know if it's 10 years. But it's gaining traction. And they're saying that Major League Soccer in revenue could take over the NHL and maybe Major League Baseball at some point in viewership and revenue within. They're saying, by the World Cup.
But it should.
Yeah,
I mean,
by 2026 is World Cup. That's
one,
what they're...
your stadiums are bigger.
Yeah.
B, your game is less niche. Like, I love hockey. I love hockey. Love it with all my heart. That is a North American game that most of Northern Europe took over.
But we kind of hate the Flyers now.
I mean, the Flyers
not hate the Flyers.
They hurt me because I became disinterested in hockey because of how bad the Flyers are.
Yes.
You know, because I'm watching the Panthers right now and the Maple Leafs and all these teams be extraordinary at hockey, and I cannot bring myself.
I was in Nashville. I was in Nashville
tough.
for work, and it hurt me to the soul to watch all these people walk around in Nashville Predators stuff and going, "Yeah, I haven't seen a Flyers sweater, and I don't know."
Do you remember 2010?
Kind of.
Do you remember when the Florida Panthers couldn't get 10 people in the goddamn stadium?
Oh my God, they were in the league, Sunrise, Florida. They were the Phoenix Coyotes of the East Coast, and now Miami's like hockey.
Yeah,
we like hockey now. I'm like, I miss Philadelphia plays very little high school hockey at all. We have maybe one college hockey team outside of Penn. That's it.
Yeah, if it's a high school, it's got to be a prep.
Yeah, it's definitely a prep. None of the public schools out here playing any hockey in Philadelphia. But the Flyers...
You mean Pennsauken High doesn't have a hockey team?
No. But
Central might have hockey.
They're working on... They had roller hockey at the Pennsauken pool. They set up a...
I'm here for that.
Yeah. They set up roller
That's
hockey.
how I started.
Yeah.
I started on my blades, and, I eventually went to Wissahickon and got on the ice. But, that's how I got started.
Yeah.
But, man, I know we digressed, but man, I just miss the Flyers.
I'm shocked we digressed.
I know, but I just that really irks me too, because it's just I miss having both the Sixers and the Flyers in it at the same time and be like, all right, tomorrow night we got playoff hockey, and then we got playoff basketball.
Listen, as a Philadelphian, I don't know if it's because of the teams not always being good, but you survived because you had the four teams.
Yep.
And if the Phillies sucked, you knew Eagles season was coming up.
Someone's going to pick us up.
Or there was the Sixers. There was something to look forward to. Like if Allen Iverson wasn't around, there was Eric Lindros. There was something that you're like, okay. And then when one of them is missing, you're like, oh, this
it's
sucks.
a void.
It's a big void.
Yeah.
It's a big void.
I will say this, and I'll bring it back. The Union have picked me up. Where a lot of this shit got real bad, the Union are definitely and even my dad's first place. And I'm like, my father has paid attention to only the soccer games that I physically played in. He gave no crap about soccer in the history of his life. He's like, first place Union. And I'm just like, hell bleeping, yeah, we are. It's just, it's so nice. It's so nice to be feared. It's so nice
that
for
was
teams
the funny
to fear
thing,
us.
when you mentioned how you got into soccer because you didn't have to hear about it at work.
Yeah.
After the losses, I'm going through work and people are like, oh, sorry for your loss. I go, isn't it our loss?
No,
and they look at me and they go, oh, you're right. That is our team. I go,
yeah.
It's our team, everyone. You can feel sad too. You can get
They're like, no, I don't want to.
No, I really no sadness in my life.
I want to add that anxiety.
I'm a Villanova fan, and Jay just left me. No more sadness.
I'm a St. Joe's fan, and Jay just
I know,
left me. We might actually win sometime.
Well, not against Nova.
No, look, man, I don't know about Kyle Neptune. He coached at Fordham. What's a Fordham?
Well, I mean, he only was there for a year. He's with Nova.
I actually got to feel bad. I actually got to feel bad because Fordham got good last year, and I'm like, all right,
he did a hell of a job.
They're on the come up. He's like, all right, bye.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, I got y'all. Listen, I left y'all better than I did when I rocked.
You got a trajectory.
Yeah.
You trending up.
Yeah.
That guy from, what was it, Saint whatever in Newark. He didn't care about going to.
Peters. Oh, no.
He didn't care about going to Seton Hall.
No, but not only him. He left for Seton Hall, and then 3 of his players went to the transfer portal the next day. They were just like, thank you.
And they didn't just follow him either.
Yeah.
They didn't just follow him. They were like, you know what? It's not that I want to be with him. It's that I don't want to be here.
We're not going to recreate this.
Guys,
We know.
here, yeah.
This ship is done.
The craziest thing is, if they lost a weekend prior, none of this is happening.
He still gets the job.
But
the players
still
are
gets the
but the
job.
players are still
Players
there.
are still-
Right.
yeah.
The more they played, other
they-
schools called and say, listen, you guys got 8 fans.
Who's
Literally.
this Doug guy?
They
Right.
might have transferred to Nidget. That was about it. They'd be at the New Jersey Institute of Technology.
They're like, who's this Doug guy? I kind of think we need a sharpshooter here at literally like Siena. And he's just like, yep, Siena.
Yeah. Wait, how many people show up to your games compared? Because
Look, man, that's a high school gym they play in. I
Yes.
feel so bad for that.
up there in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and
man.
you can halfway see it from the Elizabeth stop on the New Jersey Transit train. If you ever go up,
man.
you can halfway see it from
Jersey
there.
City stand up.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right. Now, quick question, because it's all our members want to know. What's the temperature for Union Talk at 97.5? I mean, we know we've got Coach Camille.
Yep.
He wears all his free stuff in the morning on the John Kincaid show. Where's the free stuff? I don't know, but you got Tyler Zuli's been on the pod. When he's got the weekend shift, he'll talk about it and been active in trying to learn more.
Jamie
Lynch. Are you reading the notes? Look at that was the next one on there. Good job.
That was just remembrance.
Yeah.
Jamie Lynch, of course. You like what?
Connor Thomas as well.
Connor Thomas is.
From
I
the
think
morning
he comes
show.
to the tailgates.
He goes to the games. Too.
Yeah.
He goes to the games too. So I talk to Eric Camille about it all the time. I don't see Jamie because the morning crew, I don't see them as much. I talk to Tyler about it all the time. It's growing. It's the interesting part is the fan base is growing for sure. For sure. The tough line is I think there's always other stuff going on.
Oh yeah.
It's always other stuff going on. So it's like you guys have a pod dedicated. I know we're not just talking about the team. We're not breaking down what they did in the box. Like you're not.
We
doing
try
that.
not to.
Yeah, we're not that smart to do X's and
We do all
O's.
that.
Occasionally,
But
there's smarter people for us to do.
right, but it's like we always have something else, and the issue is the people end up dictating a lot. But to each other, we talk about it all the time. We talk about it all the time. I'm trying to make that tailgate on the 14th too.
Oh, you have to just
Oh,
to watch
no.
just to watch Devin implode. It'll be worth it. Just
I have
alone.
it too. It was very nice because the Phoenix are playing the day before, so actually that worked out very well for me. I was
look at that.
Cool. Yeah, I have a
perfect.
Friday home opener and then Red Bull on Saturday.
Should we talk to Johnny about doing a back to back? Like bring your.
I'm not against that.
Yeah,
Look,
well,
I tried again. We're trying. We're gonna get. You're gonna do first pull for one of the Phoenix.
I don't know what that is.
That means you throw the frisbee. It's like first pitch, but it's for frisbee people.
Does it have to be flat, or can I throw it on that like curve that you do on the beach? That
You
comes
can
back
do
at
whatever
you
you want. I don't.
All right.
It's like basically when they have someone ring the bell and they don't know that you have to hit it 3 times.
Oh, okay.
And you're just like, the third time.
I just
One
don't
more
want to
time.
be what's his name dropping the puck. I don't want to be
Yo, Micah Parsons, like legit, the Hershey
He just
Bears
walked out
tweeted-
there, walked out there, dropped it, and just stood there like what?
Like legit, like
What he doing?
he
the
never
Hershey
went
Bear-
to he's from Hershey. He never went to a
No,
game.
let me tell you this: as a black hockey fan, no, Micah Parsons did not go to
No, he
any
did
Hershey
not.
Bear
No,
game.
he
I figured
did
that was
not.
like a
No,
forced
he did not.
field trip or something, you know?
Okay,
Like-
yes, he did. The second question you have is, did he pay attention?
Okay, good,
Yes.
good.
No,
Is
he
that
was
the
in there
concession
just-
stand?
Look,
Yes.
every once in a while, you had one of your college classes went to go see the volleyball team and support because they got extra credit for it. But I'm gonna tell you this: everyone was on their phones. No one was actually watching the game.
Talking about
I
my
was
sport,
watching the
man.
game.
God, talking about my
Look, man,
sport.
you talk about my video games.
Oh,
You
man.
think volleyball is safe?
Yeah, no, volleyball shouldn't be safe. But no, in the hallways we do talk about it. To be honest with you, we do talk about it for sure in the hallways at the radio station fairly regularly. And Eric Camille, what we omit, was the first one really jumping on his son all the time.
Yeah.
But it's now become a shared thing. And here's another upset. You don't see him, but you
Yeah.
want to know who I've talked to about at least a dozen times?
Yeah.
Anthony Gargano.
I can see that.
I've heard that.
I
I've
can
heard
see
at least
that.
a dozen
I
times.
can see that.
I've talked to him about the games and
Yeah.
stuff, and he watched every second of the playoffs last year. Every
Nice.
moment.
Yeah.
He absolutely did watch all of it.
I can
He's
just
got the
imagine
2 kids
him-
and stuff too. But yeah, he watched every minute of the playoffs
Oh,
last
yeah.
year. For sure, every minute.
Him going wild for Red Bull must have been
Oh, yeah.
like the Glesnes goal. I could just imagine that energy
And
coming
that's the
out.
thing. Some of those goals, you don't even have to like the sport to watch those moments and go, holy crap. And then we keep saying, because Philadelphia's, we're very provincial.
Yes.
You see, an Aronson who grew up in Medford. You see a Jim Curtin from Orland, PA that went to Villanova. You can't help but be like, oh my God, this is, I don't know if that hurts us sometimes because maybe people think, oh, it's minor league because you're only getting people from here. You don't get big names, but these are your neighbors that are coming in and doing good and then moving on to doing really good too.
I always like to joke I was the worst intern in the history of 97.5 The Fanatic.
I was going to say, did
But,
you guys
yeah.
cross paths? Or
No,
do you,
no, I was
No.
in 2012 was my internship. So but I was there with friend of the pod, Jack Craighead. Yeah, me and him were interns at the same time.
Were you there with
under
Brace too, friend
Sean
of the
Brace.
pod?
Yep, Sean Brace was my guy because I did mornings, and that was before they actually had a morning show, so they were still doing Mike and Mike, and then it was Tony Bruno and Harry Mays was the
Who was
crossover
doing the
show.
hiring back then at 97.5?
Camille was the person who hired me for my internship,
Yes.
and I walked in
Yeah, he did the
with the
internship
union
program, yeah.
scarf, and he said another one because Craighead was already in there.
Now, how many times did you fax your resume into him?
Well, at that time, you could actually email it. It was a crazy time called the early 2010s. And
So you should have gone old school. Would have gotten some impact.
And here's the thing: we talked about it around the proverbial water cooler with the soccer because the Union were like that was the right after the Union had their playoff run because that was the 2011 playoff run just happened. So the Union were still kind of hot at that moment. They're just like, yeah, we ain't gonna talk no soccer, but I appreciate your hustle. But like we ain't talking no soccer.
And listen, we know, and we say it all the time. They have to play the hits. We've talked
I get
to
it.
Brace about it. We've talked about, but as someone that I actively listen to all 3 shows throughout, depending if work will allow me. But after a while, I'm like, I don't need to hear about Nick Sirianni anymore. Give me 30 seconds of Jim Curtin talk. Give me that cracker to get the palate, just get that taste out of my mouth because I don't know how much I can hear about, a certain basketball team losing.
Yeah.
Like, man, if you could sprinkle in a little something
Villanova
else.
losing. Who cannot
I
stand
know.
hearing that all the time?
You know what though? As far as that goes, it's connected. When will LeBron James? When will Kevin Durant? When will the top athletes start to automatically play soccer too? I think it goes hand in hand. Let me explain. So there's a feeling, there's a perception that America sends as far as their athletes, even to the World Cup and everything, that America's sitting there D squad because they go to the NBA, they go to the NFL, they go to MMA, and then the leftovers, this is the perception, go to soccer.
Right.
And the thinking still is, I believe, with a lot of fans, because what happens is there's times where on Saturday show, I'll talk about on my Saturday show, Union, they're doing a great job, I can't wait, blah, blah, blah. And I think there's a certain amount of people who feel like both the league and the players in the league aren't the best athletes there. While if you watch the Premier League, you hear a guy from Germany, you think that
Guy's the best guy.
was the best. Like in Germany, he was the best athlete. He chose
the
that.
best athlete.
The best
in the
athlete
country.
in the country chose that sport. And
Yeah.
the perception, I think, still is that the best athletes in the country don't choose the sport. And then I think that ends up hurting the perception. And then I think that ends up trickling down to the fan base.
And my other thought, and I always say it, I always feel that the guys in this city that are the 4-for-4 guys, that they may not want to embrace soccer because their kids know more than they do.
Yes.
And they don't want to get upstaged because their kid either plays FIFA,
Plays FIFA.
and
Big-
hey,
I
Dad, they're
play
offside, and no kid wants their 10-year-old kid being like,
no dad.
explain the rules to me. No, we're going to a baseball game. I'm going to tell you about the double
Here's
switch.
the thing.
Yeah.
I will give credit though. My father knew zero about hockey until I took him back in the late 90s. Like I was first introduced to my mom.
You were driving in the late 90s?
Well, Well, so I was introduced to the game because my mom actually, the company she worked for had box seats for a couple of Flyers playoff games. So I went there and
A lot of kids start that way.
Yeah.
A lot of kids
Yeah.
start that way.
If
with
you
like
go
that.
to
Yeah.
a game,
It's totally different.
You get hooked.
Yeah.
You can't not
So fast.
enjoy
Yeah. So fast.
what hockey is physically.
I think for kids, it's going to a live game
Yeah.
and second video games.
Oh yeah, no. 'cause
I mean,
then
how
knew
many kids are
everything.
FIFA and
Yeah.
yeah,
NHL
like,
04,
Right.
I learned every player.
MLB The Show
everything.
made me fall in love with baseball again after I
And
was
all
like,
the statistics,
Yeah.
I was like, every time I play MLB The Show, I'm like, I need my guy to be a Cy Young winner. Like, I
Yeah.
need to figure out how I get like his whip down and all of this stuff. But it's like when my dad was like, I know nothing about hockey, and I took him, and it was like, I remember this game till the day I die. It was a Flyers Islanders game. The Islanders were up 3-0, and we got to the third period. And the Flyers scored 3 unanswered, and Eric Lindros scored the third one in the crease. It went reviewed, and it counted. And my dad went up and was like, yeah. And I was like, hooked.
oh yeah,
Forever. I got him. He's good. And it's like, that's what happens when they
That's
come
what the
back
playoff
from
run
here.
did. Last year, that's what the playoff run did.
That is,
100%.
you're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
100%. We had so many new fans from the pandemic season. The MLS is back fans that
Yeah.
like soccer was the only thing on. That's all we could watch.
Yeah.
And that was the first season back for the Union, and that's what they do.
yeah.
And then some of that ends up being generational, though. So that 8-year-old that was dancing on the seat when
Yeah.
they scored that goal, he's got to get to being 18.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
got to be some of the adults start to dictate what happens. And then also it has to do with the revenue. And this is the thing that I think would help. We would talk about it more. The city of Chester as a whole has to be better around this stadium.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is a beautiful facility. I love coming here. I
Yeah.
love coming here. There's not a bad seat in the building.
No.
but you don't
guys-
stay here after the game.
Right. There's,
Yep.
What would I do?
Yeah.
I couldn't
The
go eat.
Laramie. No.
No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. There's nothing. That's what I mean, and that's where the city doing better, because then you know what ends up happening. You know why we're paying attention to the game, because we're broadcasting down the street,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
what ends up happening is some of the people now there's revenue involved with
Yeah.
doing this, and it's not directly from the team. It's
Yeah.
not. It's wow, this bar wants people to
Yeah.
come here.
If there's
Yeah.
a Chickie and Pete's and they're like, hey, we're going to pay 97.5 to do a live broadcast.
We're talking.
You're going.
Man, we're
yeah.
down the street. The Union play at 7:00. Blah 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 blah. It all fits in.
Yep.
Unfortunately, and again, I think that putting it here actually was a good idea. What I think didn't happen was the city didn't follow up.
Yeah.
You can't get something offered, something beautiful, and then go, all right, we're going to put nothing around it.
Yeah.
Now there is good news, and we'll tell you.
We're working on it.
The development plan's been approved.
Good, very good.
We've gotten to see some of it, including what the Union are doing. They're actually building a field house where our tailgate lot is.
Oh.
And that is going to be suburban soccer, lacrosse mom heaven.
That's awesome.
And that's going to start. Well, suburban moms need Starbucks when they're dropping junior off
There
at
you go.
lacrosse, and
Yeah.
that's going to
Dad
start.
needs a
Now-
Longhorn Steakhouse.
Now,
to
my
go
biggest,
after, you know?
my,
Yeah.
my biggest fear is you're praying that this doesn't, like around Red Bull, doesn't just over gentrify.
I get that.
Now
Yeah.
we did
especially here.
Yeah.
You know, you
We
don't.
did see-
you
You
gotta,
could price people out fairly easily,
Very
and then
easily.
they're going. There will be no plan B.
right because this
Yeah.
is Delco. It's not even like the
Yeah.
city where it's just like
Now,
it's like
part
you-
of the city. Like,
Exactly.
I take a train ride and move down the road, or
Yeah.
and you know how some of these neighborhoods go. In Philly, 3 blocks over, it's a totally different.
No, these
It's
people
called
are-
Fishtown, Kensington.
Yeah, you're not going
What-
to see
what-
these
what-
people move over the bridge over there to
Yeah.
like Vineland. You know,
Yeah.
it's going to be a
Yeah, they're
different
not
game.
moving to Swedesboro. No.
No,
No, and
No.
that's the part that would
But
be tough.
the-
But there has to be a balance there.
Of course.
to where there's more reason to come here than just the game.
Right.
You want-
Make a whole
and you
day.
want to
You
enrich
guys
the
are the only
city.
reason that
Yeah.
people make a day of it.
Yeah,
Without you guys, you would come to the game and
Devin.
leave, and that would be it.
Devin.
So credit to you. Credit to you. That's the reason that it becomes a day. Well, we got to get there early, of course, because of Sons of Ben.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
without Sons of Ben, it's like I'll get there 30 minutes early, have a beer at my car, and then walk in. It's
Yeah.
not a thing.
Well, that's me at a
And then
Sixers
after the game, we,
You know what I mean?
well, that's the other
Yeah.
thing. After the game, we're all like, well, we'll have a beer in the parking lot, wait for the traffic, and then go somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
And
to
that-
Taco Bell on my
Oh,
way home
yeah.
back to the city.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that's literally that's
Right.
the vibes half the time. You know.
And this is where you mentioned the mom's advantage. In the 80s, when the Flyers were top, the females loved the Flyers.
Oh.
Peter Zezel and the different players before you guys.
yeah.
But they loved the Union because it's soccer, and the soccer mom cliche is just
Yeah.
already just laying there.
Yeah.
The more you do to attract them, well, now the women are into the games. Well, now that's a certain.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
the Connor Thomases of the world follow. They come right in.
Look, look.
How you doing, mom?
Hey, what's up? Shoot or shoot, you know?
All I'm saying is I notice who gets a lot of traffic when autographs come after the game. That's all I'm saying. There's just a couple of these players they're like, hey, Kai, what are you doing? You need that jersey? You keeping that? I can take that. Right?
Can I have those shorts? Whoa.
Shout out to Kyle the Baby.
Oh, yeah.
Because Kyle the Baby got Jose Martinez's shorts after the game. And I had to ask him the question.
How did he get them?
Yeah, how? How do you?
And he said he just disrobed and gave him the shorts and walked away. And I was just like, Kyle, that's a man's juices.
I don't know if that's a good power or bad power to have.
I don't know what
that
that
another
was.
man will just take his shorts off and give them to you.
I'm not.
I don't know.
I would love a pair of these shorts. Are nice this year with the
Wash
blue
'em.
letters, but
Yeah, I don't want them right off the pitch.
No,
No,
those are getting dry cleaned. I need professionals to take care of that before I'm getting there.
torched.
That's a lot of sweat, but I'm here for it regardless.
Now speaking of fire, I have a question because I do listen to Tyrone and I want his opinion. This has been bothering me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who is a worse human being in your mind? I'm going to give you 3. It's Jenny from Forrest Gump.
Yuck.
We all know what she did.
Oh, she's terrible.
Yuck.
Yeah.
She's a horrible person.
We got Rose from Titanic.
Yuck.
Yeah.
She's pretty awful.
Yeah. And now you should know this, but
Yeah.
the short-haired girl from the Taco Bell commercial that traded the chip for a crunch wrap.
A terrorist. An absolute terrorist.
That is
What was that? What was that logic? What?
She's a bad human being.
For an entire crunch wrap?
Yeah.
What is this? First of all,
and she stole a chip afterwards.
Look, honestly, that's if you're in a relationship there, you have to have a talk after. Like you have
It's
to
not a
have,
talk, it's an exit strategy.
Like you have to
Well, we had a
have
hell of a run.
post-game conference. I
I-
want to get here with I want to put it with a backdrop and a podium and a microphone. And ask, so what did you think about that play?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that? Did you think you did a good job there?
So,
you think that
all
was
right, we
good?
got your opinion now. I got to hear from Tyrone now because that's 3 horrible people.
3 horrible people.
Horrible.
All right. So Jetty I hate, but
Took advantage of
took advantage of Forrest. That's not his kid.
Yeah.
Named him Little Forrest. Yeah,
Oh, my
right.
God.
You were out there with
probably
everybody.
caught something from her.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, you show back up and it's she passed away from AIDS and that's the way that it's
or
set up.
hepatitis or something.
Some
yeah,
sort
that-
of
some sort
that.
of.
So, but Forrest was happy to have Little Forrest. So while she did deception in order to make sure her son would be taken care of long after she was gone, Forrest Gump ended up happy.
Yeah, but if
So
he
I
didn't have
can't-
that Apple money, she would have.
No, she wouldn't even
No.
talk to him. But at the end of the day, Forrest is happy and Little Forrest is happy. So everybody's happy. Rose is the worst for this reason. The crunch wrap girl should be deported.
No, you lose your citizenship.
Yeah, like you're out of
That
here.
is a
But I'm
crime
from
against
here. No, it doesn't matter.
That is a crime against the state. Is
Right.
what she did.
But Rose, now first of all, didn't Rose already have somebody when she got on that boat?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Billy Zane was a dick though.
He was,
probably
but
hit
she
her.
loved him.
Like I think he
I
probably
mean,
hit her.
I'd be
It was
shocked.
the 1920s.
I'd be shocked if he didn't.
He
But-
he was.
And we
a dick.
kinda know why.
He stole a person's baby to get on a life. I have a child. Like he literally possessed someone's
But he
child
didn't
to
push
get on
the
a life
child off the life raft like she did.
Right. And
No,
this
both
is-
of these things are true. But like, she's not the greatest person. Continue. I'm
but-
sorry.
So number one, he died. So she's cheating. Break up with him first. So first off, she's cheating. Next thing you know,
That's
she's
true.
butt naked
This is
with
true.
some random.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You got a man on the boat and you're
On
butt
the boat.
naked
In a cargo
again.
hold.
Right.
You can't even get a room. You can't
Right.
lock the door.
Model T.
Like, what are you doing? First off, so
And she's
that's
doing
for-
1920s porn because she's
Right.
posing naked for pictures.
Right.
You know?
Real
What are
quick
you
though,
doing?
is the Model T a good car or
At
a bad car to have sex in?
At the time, it was good because it was big.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That
spread
seems to
out,
have
yeah.
a good back
That's,
seat.
that's
Yeah.
bigger than
And
a
there's a
king-
lot of headroom
Yeah,
there.
it was like bigger than a king
that back
size
seat
bed.
was bigger than the door she
like
kicked
you
him
can't.
off
That's
of.
better than like a Nissan Altima for
Yeah,
sure.
way
you
better
know?
than Nissan
It's better
Altima.
than your
Yeah.
Fiat. Yeah.
Or
Yes,
80,
yes.
83 Chrysler New Yorker or whatever
Oh,
car
yes.
that somebody might use for such things.
But yes,
But at the end of the day, it was proven. The Mythbusters did a whole episode about
could've-
this.
yeah.
It absolutely could have had him up there. He would have survived. He could have been together. But deep down, she didn't want to be with him either.
No.
I'm going to argue that she's a black widow. I'll bet you this. She has a string of guys in between from the boat sinking and when they actually start talking to her.
I'm shocked she
another
didn't kill the
dozen guys.
explorers.
Oh, yeah.
She's a serial killer, Rose. And that's why she's the worst. Rose has killed. That was her first. And once she got to taste the blood, she was insatiable. And there, every few years, she would get that taste and that hunger, and then take another guy out, and another guy out, another guy out, and then live to tell the tale.
Yes.
She's been telling those stories.
So I'm here for Rose.
So Rose is the worst.
Yes.
Because she steals lives.
Right.
And then the
Literally.
Crunchwrap girl because she steals Crunchwraps.
Right. And even though Jenny was terrible, Jenny Forrest was happy. The only person happy from the outcome of those three is Forrest. And little Forrest ended up with a good dad. And hey, if you're a mom, your job is to attempt, and you want to have a father, like find a good guy.
Yeah, find a good partner. Find a good,
And trust me, I know about Jenny, all right? But in this scenario, she's the third worst.
Okay. All right.
With Rose the serial killer being the worst.
Now we're flipping the script on this one now.
Greatest segment.
We got one extra question, and I thought about this yesterday driving home. Out of the 5 coaches in Philadelphia, and we're going pro sports, so Jay Wright doesn't count, that kind of stuff. So you've got Nick Sirianni, Joe Girardi, Doc,
and Mike Yo, but he won't be here long.
Yeah. I don't even know.
That's not even worth mentioning.
The guy from the Flyers, and then Jim Curtin.
The guy from the Flyers.
Who would you rather team up with in a bar fight? Things are going wrong in a local bar, and you get to pick one of these guys to have your back. Which guy do you want in that bar fight?
All right, now I'm not going to do any pandering with this answer. I'm going to give you the real answer. Now, first off, I don't respect the Flyers guy enough to even to help him.
He's a hockey guy, though.
But when you set up a bar fight scenario, there's 2 scenarios. It's either he is in a fight and I'm helping him, or I'm in a fight and he's helping me. It could be either one. I don't want him interfering either way. So he's out.
Okay.
Doc and Girardi, up in age. Also, I'm sure Girardi's been in a fight this life.
Yeah.
And I think Doc has, but they're up in age.
The NBA players know how to fight.
Well, he was in the 80s. In the 80s, they fought more.
Sheed, one guy.
Ben Wallace.
I wouldn't mess with that dude. Ron Artest.
I never seen him really make.
I wouldn't mess with Ron Artest.
Yeah.
Ron can choke you. I don't know if he can punch you.
Charles Oakley.
Well, only if you owe him money.
No.
He ain't playing.
But yeah, Doc.
He had Tyrone Hill.
Doc, I don't think can walk.
He had Tyrone Hill. Running.
No, his hands were made of pure stones. I don't want to be hit by him at all.
He was in there.
All right, so we're down to 2 coaches now.
Yes, no. In all seriousness, it would end up being Jim Curtin for a couple reasons. Number one, the height helps.
Oh yeah,
I feel like he's got a long reach. So as long as he has a jab, he can help keep guys fend them off with a good straight left hand jab. Drop that right hand on him. You step into that punch right in the chin. And no matter how big the guy is, you can't train the chin. You can lift weights. You can do all that. The chin you're born with. So he drops that right hand with leverage.
Take notes.
Downhill. Those punches. Because what are the odds that I'm in a bar fight with somebody the same height as Jim Curtin?
Yeah,
very slim.
True. Yeah.
Those are down.
Unless you're in Minnesota.
Hitman Tommy Hearns.
Yes.
Or any of these tall pitchers that throw 100 miles. Randy Johnson. He's like Randy Johnson with the left and the right hands, wailing on a guy.
I would love to have Randy Johnson in a bar fight.
The other part
I'd rather see him throw a ball at somebody and then punch him. Yeah.
Oh my God, killed that poor bird.
Bird. Yeah.
Rose saw that, was so happy that bird died. and then, in all seriousness, because I'm just gonna look at like if we're getting a bar fight, that means we also hung out after. Talking to him, I've talked to him different times, but talking to him at the banquet not that long ago.
Oh yeah.
At the event, I just like him. So if I'd rather fight by somebody I like.
I think Jim would also pick up a pool stick and hit somebody and not feel bad about it. I think Orland, PA would be like, "Oh, look at this over here. Come here."
I'm about to make a counter of all the people on the podcast who went to the event except me. I just wanted to say, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we all had a great time." I was like,
it's recorded. I do so much extracurricular for the union.
Yeah.
I don't even want to go. I don't
want to go. I didn't know it was a high school reunion.
That was cool.
I didn't know everyone and their mom was going to be there.
Cool.
I guess,
the gold carpet.
Everyone but you were there.
FOMO. Little FOMO now.
Yeah, gold carpet. The whole thing was really nice.
Yeah.
And talking to him now, he's a cool guy. Yeah. So and that's the other part. And actually, to be honest with you, Girardi's cool to talk to. They're all pretty cool to talk to. But and also he's the most successful right now. And everybody winning. You want to be around him. When you when you go to a friend from high school, you run into him and you start to make the small talk. And it's sad, but the better the guy's doing, or the more clear he sounds, the more likely you're going to want to hang out with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you doing? And you just expect him to say fine or good or whatever. He steady hits you with, oh, it's been a tough road. You know,
Got
during
divorced.
the pandemic, you know, my wife and I were spending too much time together. We're divorced, and now, you know, I'm seeing the kids every other weekend. It's tough. And then I'm already like, yeah.
Yeah, you're actually.
I'm not texting you,
You got
back
your
till
road
you get your,
strategy.
till you get your life together, buddy. I'm not going to be texting you back. Like, I like when the other guy said, man, I'm doing great. Just during the pandemic, I started this business. We sold to Amazon just now for $20 million. I'm like, wait, what? You're the startup? You're the Ring doorbell guy? Oh my God, let's hang out. So yeah, so I hate to be that way, but it's real.
No, that's truth though. I mean,
He's
you'd
a
rather be
winner.
around happy
The
people.
guy's a winner.
Who don't, he's a winner.
You need
And
the
I
dubs.
think Nick Sirianni would talk the whole time during the fight. He'd be like, "Hey, listen, let's be flowers. We can grow together. We don't have to get into fisticuffs."
He
you know?
made the playoffs after that speech. I just want to throw that
He
out
did.
there.
I know.
That team looked sorry
just
as
saying.
hell,
Look at
and then somehow
that just something about him doesn't make me think that he's gonna brawl with you. You know, I don't know. So yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely Jim. You know, Devin, little union news. What's that?
No,
We've got breaking news.
we were just discussing your script.
You can
because
skip a
we're
part of the
all-
Oh, now
rundown.
you're
if you
discussing
want.
the script?
You can skip a part of the rundown
Yeah, we
because we
can-
went long with other
we're
stuff.
going
No,
longer.
well,
Don't-
the Sixers part, I don't have to talk about the
No,
fuck
no,
at all,
that's
so we
fine.
can just
Listen,
move on.
Yeah, we're all right.
that's
Listen,
fine.
just
Look,
union news. Hey, I was just going to
Do
go
it.
union news. We got viewing parties coming up.
You want to talk about the Eagles?
What are you? Why don't you follow the script? You'll see. You're skipping ahead.
Oh, I did. I did.
News.
We're
man.
still stopping.
Where's the viewing party on Sunday when they play Nashville?
So we know we have yards, South House,
That's cool.
a couple in Jersey. So
Broward,
Zeds will have
Browhouse.
it. Browhouse Schmitz has it. So we're trying to find something after Broad
Yeah.
Street
Yeah.
to hit. So I'm
Ooh,
thinking
Founding Fathers too said they would broadcast.
they're gonna have
too.
it?
So Founding Fathers on South and 16th. They have been broadcasting
so
all the
after
Union
Broad
games this
Street,
year.
we're gonna find, and we're gonna put that out in our weekly email.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
And social media. So viewing parties for that if you're not going to Nashville. We've got a little, just right around 100 plus traveling to Nashville to open up that stadium.
Love it.
Awesome.
Which
Love
is
awesome.
which is great because normally the teams will only give about 60 to 75 tickets.
Yeah.
So when we came in, we're like, hey, we need more. They're like, okay, we've got more. But they could have been like, no, it's our home opener. You're only getting your allotment. So we got about 100 people.
Great.
And Vince from Philly Sports Trips is running that.
Yeah, love Vince.
So
Good
yeah,
guy.
yeah. So it's should be good. And then May 7th versus LA. Do we want to talk about this Montreal game? We don't have to talk about this, do we?
We don't need to fill time.
Here's the thing. I
Yeah.
will say this. I appreciate the fact that this as a tie feels like a loss to most of us.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're good. Because we're a good enough team so that we expect better than just a point from that situation. So that's the only thing that I can, if I can turn any positive from this situation, that's at least we're good enough to demand.
Yeah.
that
And the
level of
only
excellence.
thing I'll talk about the basketball team, I'm just going to ask all of you, how much do we all hate Canada right now after us, this Union not doing well against Toronto, we
Yeah.
have in Montreal, and then
Yeah.
what's been going on in the basketball world,
So like before every game we play against Canada, I like to sing their national anthem because
Their anthem's better.
when the Montreal Canadiens were playing an American team in the playoffs and their anthem singers microphone cut off, the entire Canadian fan base sang the American national anthem. So as an homage to that, every time I hear the Canadian anthem, I always like to sing it. I think I'm bringing us bad luck because I've been at all of these games recently singing the anthem.
Maybe you
and I
should,
think I've
yeah.
been propelling Canada to victory
You gotta
or at
chill.
least, competence.
Sending all that mojo, that positive mojo.
I was at
up
game
the,
two.
north of the border.
I was at game 2. All right.
Oh,
I was at game 2 and they
but
both
so like
raised-
I was down Dawn Staley balancing your bad mojo out.
Yo,
Dawn Staley was at the Union game. They still would have won.
The
too.
future coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, Dawn Staley. What do you mean? What you talking about?
Yeah, that would actually be pretty
that
cool.
would actually be,
and she's
I
interviewed
take
for
it.
jobs before.
yeah.
Yeah, let this keep happening.
Short
She'll
dig-
be interviewing again.
Yeah, exactly.
Short digression. I'm just saying, if there's any woman who would command men better than Dawn Staley, like literally, I would imagine like every person would listen to Dawn Staley, like absolutely 5-time gold medalist. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing
Successful at every level, as a player and as a
Every
coach.
Player,
single
coach,
level.
everywhere she's going to
all
coach.
the way from high school forward. That kind of thing would demand that respect, and not many. There's very few humans with that kind of pedigree.
She made Columbia, South Carolina care about women's basketball.
Well, she also took down one of the biggest despots in NCAA women's basketball.
What? Gino's Norris Town's very own Luigi Orbeella.
All right, we're going to have one play the hit. Thoughts on the draft? In Vegas, Eagles.
Yeah, Vegas.
Is Howie going to outthink himself again?
I think they're going to go defensive end and wide receiver. I think those will be the 2 picks. I think that there's a chance that they trade up and down in the same night.
Ooh.
I think they're going to trade up from 15 and down from 18 in the same night. Yep.
Right.
And I think they're going to end up with a defensive end and wide receiver. I don't know in which order the picks, but I think that's what they're going to end up with. And then cornerback and safety, the 2 other positions that they need the most, they will get later.
Okay.
But I think that's how it's going to go. And
I was hoping for safety, first round safety.
They
never do it.
They literally never have, and they're not going to start today. Although I think the best player in the draft is a safety. I think Hamilton's the best player in the draft.
Yeah.
So just not the best, not the most important position, but he's the best player to me.
Devin, we're going to wrap it up, but we got one question that came in for Tyrone specifically. He said, and it's weird, it goes, will the Mike Miss show ever travel the way the John Kincaid show travels? From our friend Vince. Vince from Philly Sports Trips.
Yeah.
He's trying to get you to get some business his way, you know? He needs
Yeah.
Do a Tyrone Johnson, trip to Vegas to watch the Golden Knights versus the Flyers.
Listen.
I think that's what he's looking for.
Yo, I'd go to that.
I mean, just because it's Vegas, I'd go.
Not to watch the Flyers.
The Golden Knights are at least a good hockey team. I'd watch them play hockey.
Yeah. Anyone but them. I think, no, the answer is no. But it's not. But I'm not like glad to say that. No, the reason is the TV.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, it's because of the TV.
That's right, because of the Comcast.
Yeah. If
Come
not
on,
for the
Booney.
It's
Booney.
it's called, was it simulcasting?
Yeah, the
They got
simulcast throws it off.
I'll talk to Booney.
The cameras are all in the studio, and then they're able to operate them remotely.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any stationary cameras in Vegas, for example.
Yeah.
I would love to be out on the road. We've been wanting to go out on the road, but this is going to come out Wednesday or Thursday. If it's the day of the draft, we will be at Chickies and Pete's in South Philly. If that does anything for you, but that's partially because it's the Phillies day game and other stuff. But yeah, it's the TV is what limits the travel. Otherwise, we'd be traveling just as much, and we'd be happy to go on a Philly sports trip.
I'm going to talk.
In all honesty, the whole back.
I think I'm going to talk to Dan about getting a GoPro and let Booney can work. He's a magician, everywhere.
Sometime in May, Brian Dawkins has a big golf outing coming up. Big one out in Westchester. A big one.
Why haven't we got B-Dog to the U yet? That seems like like some synergy.
Well, I'll talk to him about it when I'm out there because TV.
B-Dog would love the U.
Yeah,
That's very his vibe.
No, he would.
Yeah, and TV actually is setting the cameras for that one on the road for that one. So that's maybe breaking the ice because they've only went out one other time, and that was the opening game the year after the Super Bowl.
Okay,
They sent the camera out.
Yeah.
We were on Penn's Landing and everything there when they did
that
all
makes
that
sense.
stuff.
Yeah.
So this will be the first time they've sent cameras
because
since
people
then.
love live radio, live
yes,
TV. I mean, just look at College Game Day.
People like seeing how the bread's made. You know, people when people listen to radio, it's like you don't see it. You don't your mind's eye makes it. You know, but then you actually see inside the studio what's around what's in the coffee. I love that stuff.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
like
BTS.
Now
man. People love
Devin's
that
giving
stuff.
us the look, so we're gonna
really
cut
isn't,
all
but
the
it's fine.
segments. We went over, but that is fine. We're even cutting your segment, Adam.
Bull!
Yeah, no, it's good, man.
Bollocks! That's fine. I have literally nothing to say.
But no, this is episode number 97 when Jeremy Roenick. Hopefully, he doesn't cry about Chicago on this
Actually, I have one
episode.
thing
Go
to
ahead.
say.
Go ahead.
Overwatch 2 drops
Yes.
next
Yes,
week.
it does.
That's
Yes, it does.
That's
Always
it.
the-
That's
always
it.
gets that in.
Overwatch 2
Always.
drops next week. So if you've ever wanted to get in on the Overwatch extravaganza, you don't need to play the first one to get into the second one.
Is that on all platforms?
All platforms: PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Nintendo Switch. Any way you want it, that's the way you need it.
It's like a Marvel movie. I can just jump right in and I'm fine.
Like honestly, you will have to see. You have to know nothing prior. There's really not that much of a story outside of like YouTube videos, and I know the hell you ain't watching those. So
So I watched
But
the
yeah.
Anthony Gargano show. I don't know what you're talking about.
You would think Blizzard.
All right,
pays you.
everyone.
Maybe I'll.
I would hope.
Episode 97. Tyrone, thanks for coming in.
No,
man. It
thanks
was a
for having me. I
pleasure.
appreciate it,
We
guys.
can't wait to see you on May 14th.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Everyone, aloha Felicia.
Continue to wash your hands.